My father, Robert, was the reason I couldn't walk properly after my 14th birthday. My sister, Emily, knew this yet invited him to my wedding behind my back. I was 23 when my fiancé, Michael, proposed to me. Unfortunately, the first person I told was my younger sister, Emily. Up to that point, we were really close. She was bubbly and sweet, her freckled cheeks lighting up with every hug. There was just one thing we never talked about, our father, James. I figured out early that James wanted a favorite daughter to show off on social media. At first, it was me, the golden child, doted on by my grandparents, Linda and Richard. But when Emily turned 4, James came home angry almost every day, targeting her. This only lasted a day, though, because the next day I did what I now call the burrito. I wrapped my arms around Emily to take the brunt of his rage. That time, it was so bad it left permanent scars, forcing him to make Emily the new golden child. That's exactly what I wanted, and I hid my pain to protect her. So, Emily grew up believing our father, David, was an amazing man who sacrificed for his family. She had no idea what David did to me when I hit puberty. When I told Emily about Michael's proposal, her reaction was, "Yay! Let's invite Daddy. He'll be so happy," she said with a bright smile that broke my heart. I pretended not to hear and changed the subject because I couldn't invite him. There was no way my fiancé, Thomas, could face David without losing control. Emily and I started spending more time together after that. Thomas had just gotten a promotion, so Emily was my main help in planning the wedding. She didn't just help with fun parts like dress shopping or picking the venue. She tackled every detail, from decorative flowers to napkin colors. One day, after a tough week of planning, we had a girls' night in. We went all out, white wine, unhealthy DoorDash food, chocolate-covered strawberries, and Tangled. But it's true that nothing good happens after 2 a.m. That's when Emily brought up our father, Stephen, again. "I wish you'd try harder to spend time with him, Sarah," she said. "He really loves you, you know." Her words sent goosebumps up my arms. I had to hold back a shiver. "Can we please not talk about this right now?" I pleaded. "No," she said stubbornly, her tone demanding context for why I hated Stephen. "Emily, do you remember my 14th birthday?" I asked. "Oh my gosh, yes. It was so fun," she replied, her enthusiasm making me smile despite myself. "Do you remember when he told everyone to leave for a special daddy-daughter dance?" She nodded eagerly. "Yes. And you were so tired after, you couldn't walk properly." She stopped mid-sentence, eyes widening. I didn't say more. I never wanted her to know, just to stop mentioning him. For the rest of the night, we sat in silence, watching the movie. But her furrowed brows and stare out the window showed it was on her mind. I wasn't watching either, too busy wondering if I'd said too much, if I was a bad sister. Over the next few days, Emily kept asking about our childhood. After discussing it with my fiancé, Daniel, and reflecting, I realized something. Emily, now 21, deserved the truth. I couldn't hide it forever. I told her I'd answer all her questions until the wedding, then leave the past behind. She'd forgotten the burrito incident, likely a trauma response. But when I reminded her, it clicked, and she asked to stay with me instead of our father, Charles. Every night, I'd catch Emily crying under the covers. Whenever I walked in, she'd apologize. "I'm sorry for not knowing. I'm sorry for not thanking you." I'd interrupt, saying I only wanted her happiness, which always made her smile. That, in turn, made me smile too. Then came my wedding day. My long, lace-draped white dress made me feel beautiful and strong. Emily, proud to walk me down the aisle, beamed beside me. But at the altar, my heart shattered. I saw Charles smirking in the corner. Emily ran to hug him, shouting, "I knew you'd make it, Daddy." I felt bile rise in my throat. "Just give him a chance, Jessica," she yelled, her eyes conflicted, trying to convince herself too. The reception continued, but the joy was gone. I kept glancing at the exit, expecting Charles to reappear. My husband, Andrew, noticed and squeezed my hand. "He's gone, Jessica. Try to enjoy our wedding," he whispered. I nodded, but the knot in my stomach wouldn't unravel. Emily stayed close, eyes red and puffy, barely touching her food. Her maid of honor speech faltered, her voice cracking. Later, in our hotel suite, I sobbed into Andrew's chest. "I'm sorry he ruined our wedding," I cried. "Nothing's ruined," Andrew soothed, stroking my hair. "We're married. That's what matters." But Charles's parting words echoed, "This isn't over." The next morning, Emily texted multiple times. "I'm so sorry about yesterday. Can we talk before your honeymoon? I'm at your apartment." "I'll wait," she wrote. Since our honeymoon was a day away, we headed back. Emily sat outside our door, hugging her knees, copper hair tangled. "I've been so stupid," she said, eyes swollen from crying. "I believed everything he told me. Andrew made coffee while Emily and I sat at the kitchen table. He called last month, she began, staring into her mug. He heard about the wedding through a family friend, sounded remorseful. He said he'd been in therapy, regretting how he treated you, Rachel. My jaw tightened. And you believed him? I wanted to, she whispered. He's our father, David. I thought he could change. Andrew snorted from the kitchen. Manipulative bastard. Emily nodded miserably. After you told me what he did, I couldn't accept it. I thought maybe you exaggerated or misunderstood. Misunderstood? My voice came out sharper than intended. I'm sorry, she whispered, tears welling. But at the wedding, I saw his eyes when he looked at you, Rachel. I saw the truth. I took her hand. It's not your fault. He's always made people see what he wants. There's something else, Emily said, voice dropping. He knows where you live. My blood ran cold. What? I didn't tell him, I swear. But he already knew your address, said he'd been keeping tabs. Andrew cursed. We're changing the locks today. That's not enough, Emily said, eyes wide with fear. Last night, he called, cold, saying horrible things about you, Rachel. He called you a liar, said you made up stories for attention. Ridiculous, Andrew said, hand on my shoulder. You barely talk about him. Then he said he'd set the record straight, Emily continued. He sounded scary. Andrew was already calling locksmiths. We'll add a Ring doorbell and deadbolts. I nodded, knowing it might not stop David if he was determined. The locksmith came that afternoon. Andrew installed the camera and extra locks. Emily insisted on staying, sleeping on the couch despite our guest room offer. That night, I barely slept, jolting at every creak, heart pounding. Andrew's steady breathing eventually lulled me into fitful sleep. We were set for a week-long honeymoon at a beach resort, but I hesitated. Anxiety crawled at the thought of leaving our fortified apartment. No way, Andrew said firmly. He's not ruining this too. Emily's staying with her friend Lisa, and the apartment's secure. He was right, we couldn't pause our lives. The resort was stunning, with a balcony overlooking the ocean. Relax, Andrew said, massaging my shoulders. He doesn't know where we are. For 2 days, I pushed worries aside, swimming, lounging, dining. On the third day, a text from an unknown number, you look beautiful in that blue swimsuit, Jessica. The ocean suits you. I dropped my phone like it burned me. Andrew read it, scanning the beach. Back to the room, now. Hotel security found nothing but moved us to another room. How did he know what I was wearing? I whispered, shaking. Andrew's face was grim. We're cutting the honeymoon short. That night, another text, running away again, Jessica? You're a coward. See you soon. We checked out and drove back to the city. Emily was waiting at our apartment, pale and anxious. He's been calling multiple times a day from different numbers, she said. Asking about you, where you are, when you're back. I haven't told him anything, I swear. She twisted her hands, a nervous habit from childhood. Yesterday, he said I betrayed him by choosing you, Jessica. We debated going to the police, but I hesitated. What do we say? He's sending creepy texts and calling Emily. They need a clear threat. He was at the resort, Andrew argued. He's stalking you. We didn't see him, I countered. Emily's face crumpled. This is my fault for contacting him. No, I said firmly, taking her hands. He'd have found a way back. The next day, I returned to work at my graphic design firm, craving normalcy. The receptionist called, Jessica, your father, Richard, is here. My heart stopped. Richard stood in the doorway, smiling, silver-streaked hair perfect, suit pristine. Surprise, he said, approaching. Thought I'd take my daughter to lunch. I'm busy, I whispered, heart pounding. Nonsense. Everyone needs to eat, he said, turning to my coworker, Amanda. You don't mind if I steal her for an hour, do you? Father-daughter time is precious. Before Amanda could respond, I led him outside, hands shaking. What do you want? I demanded on the sidewalk. Is that how you greet your father, Rachel? His smile was cold. I want to clear the air. There's nothing to talk about. Leave me alone. I can't. You're spreading lies to Emily, poisoning her against me. I told her the truth. Your version, he sneered, stepping closer. We both know what happened. You begged for my attention, did anything to be Daddy's favorite. Bile rose in my throat. That's not true. I have journals, he said, smiling wider. Detailed accounts of you coming to my room at night. Stop it, I hissed. That never happened. It'd be your word against mine. I'd hate for Andrew or your colleagues to read them. No one would believe you. People love a scandal, and I'm persuasive, he said. I just want things normal, my daughters respecting their father. You're a monster, I said, finding my voice. His expression darkened. Be careful, Rachel. You're playing a dangerous game. So are you. I pulled out my phone. I'm calling the police. He laughed. And say what? Your father wanted lunch? He walked away, leaving me trembling against the wall. I called Andrew, texted Emily, and we met at home. Over untouched takeout, Andrew said, he's bluffing. Those journals don't exist. What if they do? Emily asked quietly. What if he's been planning this for years? I shook my head. Even if he has fake journals, why would anyone believe him? He's charming, convincing, Emily said. You saw how he won people at the wedding. We need evidence, Andrew said. Something proving what he is. Like what? I asked. It's been years, and he was careful not to leave visible marks. Except once, the burrito incident, I added, touching my back. Those scars, hidden under clothes, remained, thin white lines across my shoulder blades. Would that be enough? Andrew asked. Maybe not alone, I admitted, but it's a start. Emily's eyes widened. The burrito? You said it left permanent marks when you protected me. The next day, I received an email from my father, Stephen, with the subject, for your consideration. Attached was a PDF, scanned pages of a handwritten journal. The entries described a twisted version of my childhood, portraying me as the aggressor. The handwriting matched birthday cards and permission slips I remembered. The final page had a note, I have dozens more. I'd hate for these to go public. Dinner at my house, Friday at 7. Come alone. I forwarded it to Andrew and Emily. Andrew called, voice tight with rage. This is extortion. We're going to the police. With what? I asked. An email inviting me to dinner? Journals making me look like the perpetrator? He's threatening you, Andrew insisted. Not explicitly, I said, inhaling deeply. I need to think. Emily called next, breathless. I might have something. Remember how Dad, Michael, recorded everything, home videos of his perfect family? I nodded. He'd been obsessive about documenting his image. I took some tapes when I moved out, Emily said. I never watched them, just sentimental junk. But what if there's something on them showing how he really was? Hope flickered. Where are they? In storage with my stuff from his house. I'll get them tomorrow. That night, I couldn't sleep, haunted by the journals, wondering if Michael had been writing his lies for years. The next morning, Andrew was on the phone. We need police reports from that address, 1998 to 2010, he said. We'll come in person if needed. After hanging up, he explained, I'm checking for calls about disturbances at your childhood home. I don't recall police coming, I said. Maybe not when you were there, but it's worth checking. Emily arrived with a box of VHS tapes and DVDs. There are dozens, she said, setting it on the coffee table. We spent hours watching snippets of birthdays, school events, holidays. Most showed Michael's curated, perfect family image. Then Emily found a tape labeled, Rachel, 13. This was right before, she trailed off, looking at me. Play it, I said, bracing myself. The video showed me in our old living room, sitting stiffly on the couch. My father, Thomas's voice came from behind the camera, tell us about your day, Rachel. On screen, I looked uncomfortable, my adolescent body hunched, trying to disappear. It was fine, I said quietly. Nothing exciting happened to Daddy's special girl? I flinched at the phrase. No. Come on, Rachel. You know what happens when you're not cooperative. The camera zoomed in on my face, fear plain in my wide, wary eyes. I got an A on my science project, I said finally. That's better. And who helped you with that? You did. That's right. Daddy always helps his special girl, doesn't he? And what do you do for Daddy in return? Tears welled in my on-screen eyes. I'm good. You're good. How? Say it properly. I'm good for you. Only you? The video cut off abruptly. We sat in stunned silence. Andrew couldn't finish. Grooming, Emily whispered, hand over her mouth. He was grooming you on camera. I felt numb, seeing my fear from the outside, hearing Thomas's voice. There might be more, Emily said, digging through the box. We found 2 more videos with similar interactions, Thomas's voice possessive, my responses fearful, rehearsed. This is evidence, Andrew said. Real evidence. I nodded, a plan forming. But is it enough? My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number, looking forward to dinner tomorrow, Rachel. Come alone or the journals go public. I showed Andrew and Emily. You can't go, Andrew said immediately. I have to, I said, gesturing to the TV. This is creepy but ambiguous to others. If he releases those journals, people might believe him. What's your plan? Emily asked. I'm going to get him to confess, on record. Absolutely not, Andrew said. It's too dangerous. Emily nodded. He could hurt you again. I won't be alone, I said, holding up my phone. I'll record everything. I'll act scared, vulnerable, he'll gloat. He always did. I don't like this, Emily whispered, hugging herself. What if something goes wrong? You two will be nearby, I explained. Not inside, but close enough to intervene. After hours of discussion, we had a strategy. I'd go to dinner as requested, with Andrew and Emily waiting in a car down the street, monitoring my phone's audio feed. I'd wear a voice recorder in my bra as backup. That night, I barely slept, haunted by Thomas's voice calling me his special girl. Friday evening came too fast. In the mirror, I chose a modest blouse and jeans, hair in a simple ponytail, no makeup. You don't have to do this, Andrew said from the doorway. Yes, I do, I replied, meeting his eyes. He hugged me. I'll be right outside. One text, and I'm in. Emily waited in the living room, pale, holding a small tape recorder. This has better quality than your phone and longer battery life, she said. I took it gratefully, testing it before slipping it into my pocket. The drive to my father, William's house felt surreal. I hadn't been there since moving out at 18. The manicured lawn and pristine exterior hid the rot within. Remember, Andrew said, parking down the street. We'll be listening. Use the code word if needed. We'd chosen childhood memories as my signal for them to intervene. I kissed him and walked to William's door, each step heavier. Before I could knock, William opened it, smiling, a smile that never reached his eyes. Rachel, right on time. Always so punctual. I forced myself to meet his gaze. Let's get this over with. He chuckled, stepping aside. Still so direct. Some things never change. The house had new furniture, a different color scheme, but the layout was the same. I could still map every escape route, every hiding spot from childhood. Dinner's almost ready, William said, leading me to the dining room. I made your favorite, pot roast with those little potatoes you loved. The table was set for two, with candles and wine glasses, like a date, not a father-daughter dinner. My skin crawled. I'm not hungry, I said, the food smell turning my stomach. Sit anyway, he said, voice hardening. We need to talk. I sat, positioning myself near the door. He returned with 2 plates, offering wine. I shook my head. I need to drive. 1 glass won't hurt, he said, pouring and pushing it toward me. To family reconciliation. I left the glass untouched. Is that what this is? Of course, he said, sipping his wine. I want to put the past behind us. By threatening me with fake journals? His smile didn't waver, but his eyes turned cold. Those journals are real, Rachel. I started writing them when you were 12, right when you showed interest. I felt sick but stayed calm. That's not what happened. No? He set down his glass. Then what did happen, from your perspective? This was my opening. I took a deep breath. You know exactly what happened. You abused me, physically at first, then worse. I couldn't finish. Such imagination, William sighed, cutting his meat precisely. You always wrote stories about princesses being rescued from towers. He leaned forward. But you were never interested in being rescued, were you? You liked our special time. I dug my nails into my palms. I was a child. You were supposed to protect me. I did protect you, from the world, from boys who'd use you, he said softly. Everything I did was out of love. Love? I couldn't hide my disgust. You call what you did on my 14th birthday love? A flicker crossed his face, quickly masked. You were dramatic about that. It was a dance, a special moment. You raped me, I said, the words burning. After everyone left, you took me to your bedroom. He set down his fork slowly. Be careful, Rachel. False accusations have consequences. They're not false. We both know what happened. What I know, he said, voice hardening, is you always sought attention. When Emily got more, you became desperate. I almost laughed at the absurdity. I wanted Emily to get attention. I protected her from you. Protected her? He raised an eyebrow. From what? From the beatings. From what you did to me when I hit puberty. I leaned forward. Remember the burrito? When I wrapped myself around her so you'd hit me instead. His expression darkened. That never happened. The scars on my back say otherwise. He waved dismissively. Childhood accidents. You were clumsy. I placed my phone on the table. I have the videos, Dad. His hand froze mid-reach for his wine. What videos? The ones you made, grooming me, calling me your special girl, asking what I do for you. Uncertainty flickered. Those were private family moments. They don't prove anything. Maybe not alone, but with my testimony, Emily's, and the physical evidence, I touched my back. It's enough. He was silent, then smiled, colder, calculating. What do you want, Rachel? Money? I want you to admit what you did. All of it. He laughed. Why would I do that? Because if you don't, I'm going to the police with everything, videos, scars, witnesses. It might not convict you, but it'll destroy your reputation, career, life. His eyes narrowed. You wouldn't dare. Try me. I held his gaze. Or admit it now, and I'll consider keeping it private. He sipped his wine, the silence stretching. And if I admit it, you'll forgive me? We'll be a happy family? No, I said honestly. But I might not press charges. He set down his glass, leaning back. Fine. You want me to say I hit you? I hit you. All parents disciplined kids back then. It was more than discipline. What do you want me to say? His voice rose. That I was harder on you? Fine, I was. You were difficult, stubborn, like your mother. I stayed silent, waiting. After a pause, he sighed. The burrito thing happened once or twice, but you're exaggerating. And my 14th birthday? His jaw tightened. What about it? Tell me what happened after everyone left. We danced. That's all. That's not all. He stared, then smiled slowly. I've always admired your persistence, Rachel. Even as a child, you wouldn't give up. He leaned forward. Is that what this is? You want me to say I touched you inappropriately? That I forced myself on you? I waited, silent. Fine, he said, voice dropping to a whisper. Yes, I had sex with you that night and others. But you wanted it. You begged for it, desperate for my approval. My stomach lurched, but I stayed calm. I was 14. A child. You were mature. You knew what you were doing. Did I ask you to stop? He shrugged. Sometimes. But that was part of the game. You liked to pretend to resist. It wasn't a game, I said quietly. I was terrified. Nonsense. You loved me. You still do, deep down. He reached for my hand, I pulled away. I need to use the bathroom. He gestured to the hallway. You know where it is. In the bathroom, I locked the door, leaned against it, and checked my phone. The recording was still going. I texted Andrew, got it. Coming out now. Back in the dining room, William was refilling his wine. I'm leaving, I said. I have what I came for. He stood, blocking the door. What does that mean? I recorded everything, your confession about the abuse, raping me at 14. His face paled. You can't use that. I didn't consent to being recorded. This state has one-party consent laws. I only needed my consent. I stepped back. Now move. I'm leaving. Give me the phone, Rachel. His voice was low, dangerous. No. He lunged, grabbing for my wrist. I twisted away, but he caught my blouse, yanking me back. Give me the damn phone, he shouted, face contorted. I stumbled, hitting the table, wine glasses toppled, red liquid spilling like blood. Let go. I shouted, hoping Andrew and Emily heard. His hand closed around my throat, fingers digging in. You ungrateful little. Black spots danced in my vision as I struggled to breathe. My free hand found a wine glass, I swung it, shattering it against his temple. He staggered, releasing me, blood trickling down his face. You hit me, he said, surprised. You actually hit me. I backed toward the door. Stay away. It's over. It's not over until I say it is. He lunged again, but the door burst open. Andrew charged in, Emily close behind. Get away from her! Andrew shouted, stepping between me and William. William froze, looking from Andrew to Emily, then me. You brought them after I told you to come alone. Did you think I'd trust you? I asked, voice hoarse. Emily stepped forward. We heard everything, Dad. Everything. He looked frightened, a cornered animal, then his expression hardened. It won't hold up. I'll say you coerced me. 3 separate recordings, I said, pulling the recorder from my pocket. And witnesses who heard you attack me just now. He looked at us, calculating, then laughed, a hollow sound. My clever Rachel, always one step ahead. He sank into his chair, looking older, smaller. So what now? Police? Prison? Public humiliation? That depends on you, I said, holding Andrew's hand. Stay away from us completely, no contact, no messages. Move away if you have to. If you do, maybe these recordings stay private. And if I don't? Then everyone hears them, your colleagues, friends, the police. He considered, then nodded slowly. You win, Rachel. For now. We left him amid his ruined dinner, silent until we were in Andrew's car. Are you okay? Andrew asked, glancing at my neck. I'm fine, I said, touching the tender skin. Or I will be. Emily squeezed my shoulder from the back seat. You were amazing. So brave. We all were, I said, taking her hand. The next few weeks were cautious normalcy. William sold his house and moved to another state, as demanded. I kept the recording safe, insurance against future contact. Emily moved into her own apartment, but we spoke daily, our bond stronger. Andrew and I took a proper honeymoon, a mountain cabin, far from the past. On our last night, watching the sunset, he asked, "Do you regret not going to the police?" I thought carefully. Sometimes, but this way we control the narrative. The recordings stay private unless he forces our hand. I leaned against him. I'm tired of my life revolving around him. This way, it's over on my terms. It wasn't perfect, the scars, physical and emotional, remained. But sitting with my husband, watching the sky turn gold to blue, I felt peace. William no longer had power over me. The truth was out, acknowledged. Emily knew everything and still loved me. Andrew had seen the worst of my past and stood by me.